r/AskReddit. What technology are you shocked has not advanced yet? Elevators. Why can we not unpress a button that has been clicked? The elevators at my workplace let you do that, but it's an undocumented feature that most people don't know about. I only learned it after seeing other people do it. If a button is double pressed quickly, it is deselected if it is not the only selected button. Some models reset the selection if you press all the buttons. No cure for tinnitus. Just put some nanobots in my ear and make the ringing go away. Some tinnitus is neurological, not mechanical. It's basically the sound version of visual snow. And then there's me, lucky enough to have both from birth. Bras. You'd think that we wouldn't still be wearing the metal death traps of our grandmother's suffering, but nope. You see the new bra every few years, but it never catches on. My back hurts. Printers. Don't even get me started on the ones at my lab. Paper in the load tray are perfectly fine. Time for the printer to crumple a tiny edge and then scream paper jam and halting everything else until you take that one piece of paper out. It's all good though. That'll buy you about 5 minutes before it repeats itself. Someone forgot to load paper before starting the day and the printer happens to run out. Surprise, the printer has just locked down all tests on the machine and requires that paper be loaded, and then the machine itself needs to be rebooted and reloaded for an extra 20 minutes before proceeding. This one printer is going to be the sole reason for me having an aneurysm one of these days. The legal code. Computer programmers have come up with beautiful collaborative change tracking systems, like JIT, that let you easily make changes to a huge base of code, track who changed what, submit and resolve conflicting versions of updates, etc. But when we pass a new bill that replaces or modifies an old law, it is always some 300-page document with pages of subsection F. Paragraph 3 will be modified to reads as. Why not put the laws into a JIT repository and make it easy for bills to just modify the existing history to say what you want it to say? And why not have the transparency to see exactly what changes and who implemented that change? Want to slip some pork for your district into an unrelated bill? Well, that edit is going to have your name on it. Of course it will never happen. Who the heck wrote this ridiculous bill? I did. Microwave doors. There is no such thing as a quiet microwave door, yet we can know what chemicals are in space thousands of light years away. I can't even imagine what a microwave would be like with a silent door and muted beeps. My biggest question is, when the microwave is done and goes beep beep beep, but I'm standing right there and open it right at the first beep, why does it still do the beeps? You should be able to microwave something late at night and cut it off before the beeps, but no. Bomb defusal method, bro. Stop it at 1. Allergy control. How are there no permanent cures for allergies yet? I'll never know how awesome it must be to own a German Shepherd, and so many people won't ever know how good peanut butter is. There's new treatment that exposes you to the allergen, is extremely small doses and gradually increase it. Except that it takes 2 to 5 years, a shitton of money, and very regular visits to the doctor's office, shots, or a very regular daily habit, drops. Around 20 years ago, I was promised a cloned woolly mammoth. Then, I read about a plan to reverse engineer elephants back into mammoths. Look, I don't need to know the ins and outs, just make the damn mammoth. I thought they did that already. No, the problem isn't getting the DNA, it's impregnating an elephant to bring a baby mammoth to term. I think the best we can hope for is a mammoth-elephant hybrid. I see you've met my ex. Nobody has said nuclear fusion yet. About 40 years ago they said we would have it in 20 years. Grad student who works on fusion here. When the current generation of fusion facilities were being designed, they were based off of simulation code that was used for thermonuclear weapons. These simulations indicated that all the kinds of plasma instabilities discovered in the 50s 80s were not very important. The simulations were wrong. They were accurate enough for thermonuclear weapons, because those brute force their way to fusion with another fission bomb, but not for controlled fusion. These instabilities kill the efficiency of energy transfer from source to fuel. It's kind of like when you try to push two magnets together at the same pole. At the slightest misalignment, they start to flip or move sideways. In this analogy, efficient heating of fusion fuel requires a configuration that's like keeping the magnets aligned. So now people are working on stabilizing the instabilities and improving the efficiency of energy transfer into fusion fuel. Showers. Why doesn't every shower have a thermostat so that I can just dial in the temperature I want? Why do I have to perform alchemy with these two knobs, test the water several times, and still get scolded when my wife obliviously turns on the washing machine mid-shower? Here's the temperature I want. Maintain this temperature. You can buy one to replace your standard hot/cold knobs, but why aren't they everywhere in every single shower? My girlfriend has a newer custom house with one of those showers with both a rainfall head and a normal one, and the mechanical interface to operate the two heads and set the temperature are completely non-intuitive and confusing. There's a big knob that controls both the flow rate and where the water comes out, and a smaller knob inside that knob that I think controls the temperature. I just stuck with both of them until I get something that's good enough. The school system. That's a feature, not a bug. So the government has been pulling inspiration from Bethesda. Technology to localize missing planes. We can stream Netflix during a flight, but when the plane crashes we can't reach the black box, unless we fish it out from the ocean. As with a lot of things, we have the tech, but the people who run the airlines don't want to pay for it. Planes. The Boeing 737's design has existed since the 1960s, if I remember correctly, and with planes being so fuel guzzling, I'm amazed they haven't got hybrid, fully electric planes with a modernized shape. Planes are already near a perfect shape, given the constraints of having to be comfortable for humans to stand in. Look at any animal that has evolved over millions of years to move swiftly through a fluid. Birds, dolphins, fish, etc. They are all very fluid dynamic. There are no hybrid planes right now likely because the cost isn't worth the benefit. Planes aren't like cars, where the engine must vary in speed and there will be braking where the battery can regen. Planes pretty much get going and then stay at constant speed before finally stopping. You'll see that hybrid cars usually don't have that much better highway miles per gallon than regular cars because of that. In addition, adding electric motors and batteries add weight, and having to fly with that weight adds penalties in cost, space and efficiency. Electric planes aren't a thing, because batteries are way too expensive and heavy. Weight is far more important in a flying thing than a land object, hence why birds are so lightweight as to have hollow bones. Medical diagnostics. I want that Star Trek scan to say exactly what's wrong, instead we go with a hunch of a dude who asked me what's wrong. Umbrellas. Parasols have been around for millennia, and they still kinda suck. I mean, other than a hood or literally stopping the rain, I'm not sure what you can do at an individual level to get some protection from the rain. Other than the umbrella being unnecessarily high-tech and motorized, and sprouting automatically from over your shoulder, and holding itself up, based on Wi-Fi weather forecast, I'm not sure what could be done. And think how overpriced that fancy tech umbrella would be, lol. I'd be pleased with an umbrella that doesn't fold in on itself with the slightest amount of wind. That'd be a nice upgrade. Ocean floor mapping / scanning. The ocean is big. Like really big and very deep. We have a craft capable of withstanding the enormous pressure at the bottom of the Marianas Trench, but we can only stay down there for so long. Imagine trying to map your entire floor using a magnifying glass, but each trip down to the floor, you have to hold your breath, then come back up when you need to take a breath. Also imagine you have to give $1 to your friend each time you want to go down to get more data. It's big, deep, and each trip is expensive. Regardless of that, we still have some amazing ocean floor maps gained from satellite and sonar detection. So while we haven't seen most of the ocean floor, we have a pretty damn good idea of what it looks like. Space travel, direct brain interface. I agree so much. I remember being in grade school at the NASA museum. We expect to have humans on Mars by 2012. Here we are now. I want my flying car I was promised. People can barely drive regular cars. You want them to fly? Dream recording. I still await the day we will be able to watch the stupid things our brains came up with, just because you've met a friendly dog a week prior. Can we not save the nightmares though? I mean, both. Both are interesting. I think with nightmares it would end up as a comedy show, because while watching the recording you will notice how idiotic it was, and that it wasn't as scary as you though. How is it that Al-Qaeda can send videos from a cave in Afghanistan, but I can't get 4G LTE 20 minutes away from my house? Holy shit, no joke. I live in downtown Holland, Michigan, and the number of dead zones in this ducking town is ridiculous. My house? Perfectly fine. 2 blocks away at my favorite restaurant? Damn, you thought. I would totally understand if I lived out in the middle of nowhere, but I'm literally right in the middle of everything, and dead zones. Dead zones everywhere.